What's going on, folks? Mike Singer from blueandgold.com here with Patrick Engel. Patrick is not in his home office. He is at Evanston High School, just wrapped up. We're recording this Friday around midnight Eastern time. So Patrick was at Evanston High School on Friday night to check out four-star Notre Dame linebacker target Sebastian Cheeks in the class of 2022. So Patrick, just to start off, what did you see from Sebastian Cheeks on Friday night? What were kind of your overall impressions?
Well, he was unsurprisingly impressive, and Evanston's opponent, Maine South, did a wise move not to try to run his way too often, but nonetheless still found his way into the box score, made a few tackles on a critical late game drive, had a couple of plays in a row where he's able to make a tackle for loss. I believe it ended up as a loss, and the next play got held to push the offense back a little bit out of the red zone. So even though it wasn't a ton of action going his way, still managed to provide an impact and kind of as he was used coming off the edge, playing traditional linebacker, a little mix of both roles.
It seemed like a close game. What was the final score? Who ended up winning Evanston versus Maine South there?
So Maine South won 10-7, a tough ending for Evanston on a late field goal that decided it after running into the kicker penalty. So a tough one there, but certainly plenty to like from Sebastian and Evanston overall.
So Sebastian Cheeks, big linebacker target for Notre Dame, can be a guy who plays inside, outside rover, really multi-faceted linebacker. Also plays some running back for Evanston. Were you able to see him on the offensive side of the ball?
Yeah, he did. He had about, I believe I counted 5 carries. One of them, I think, went for about 15 or so yards. I want to say it was the biggest run of the day. But, yeah, you definitely saw a lot of that. I believe he played running back as a sophomore for Evanston as well. Not quite the every down back or anything like he was where he played all but a couple of defensive snaps for Evanston. But, yes, still get some work there. And like you said, kind of variety of roles where you see him on Evanston's defense. But in this one, it was a lot of off the edge or slightly off the ball, off line of scrimmage, outside linebacker.
So Notre Dame has a commitment from Nolan Ziegler at the linebacker position. On St. Patrick's Day, the Fighting Irish landed Joshua Burnham. Sebastian Cheeks is a guy of a future cast pick in for me. Do you feel like Cheeks, after seeing him in person, this is your second time, I believe, too, seeing him in person. You saw him last summer at a 7-on-7 practice. I mean, do you feel like Sebastian Cheeks is as talented as those guys and would be a good fit in Notre Dame's defense from what you've seen?
Absolutely. I mean, you like the versatility, like you mentioned. He told me a few minutes ago that Notre Dame defensive coordinator and linebackers coach Marcus Freeman kind of see him in that rover role, which we haven't seen from Notre Dame's defense yet under Freeman.
Right.
But you certainly kind of see what how he was used tonight and the versatility there as a kind of edge rusher or ability to drop back in a little bit of a zone coverage and then defend the run is kind of fitting into whatever types of different roles that rover position has been under Clark Lee. And you would figure since Marcus Freeman is keeping the name, we'll have be asked to do a lot of different things. In his defense, I certainly think Cheeks is capable of that.
Last thing for you, Patrick, you were able to talk to Cheeks after the game, asking him about his recruitment. What else did he have to tell you? Seems like Notre Dame is very high on his list.
Absolutely, and I think it's something that will be decided ultimately with visits. He's still wanting to take some visits when the dead period right now is on track to open up on June 1st. It would be the first day of no dead period for the first time in almost 15 months. But yeah, I think he's not locked in visits yet, but starting to get to that point where all right, he's thinking about June, July, going to be that kind of time frame for when that's going to happen. Right now, mostly just focused on this season. But yes, I think the summer is when you'll really start to see this get closer toward the finish line when he starts to take some of those visits, and told me he wants to make a commitment before his senior season.
That's Patrick Engel at Evanston, Illinois, checking out Notre Dame four-star linebacker Sebastian Cheeks. Please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content, and lock in at blueandgold.com for all of the coverage from Sebastian Cheeks' game and everything Notre Dame football recruiting.